Hi everyone, it's Mr. Marko Hietala here from different kinds of lineups from Tarot to Nightwish to Northern Kings. And by the way, you're watching Chaoszine. I'm pretty okay. Nights could be longer for sleep, but then again I'm doing promotional interviews and I'm doing shows and all that, so yeah, an old road dog can handle this. It was a lot of details. I mean, I started to record some demos for the guys after I got a little bit better from my decade of darkness. Yeah, I started writing some stuff. Boys in the band started asking that, do I have some new stuff? And I told them that, in fact, I do, send some demos over. And then we agreed to meet in the spring and in the summertime, a couple of summers ago, started going over the demos. And the songs filled in a lot of missing info and nuances and whatnot, and changed some places, fixed the lyrical stuff, started rehearsing, and then immediately into studio. During the whole process of that, also did one show in Switzerland, so where old friend of mine, Miss Tarja Turunen, asked me that if I would like to do a Phantom of the Opera with her. At the time we already had Left on Mars demoed, and Thomas Väinölä, my guitar player, said that this could be a duet. I had meant it as a romantic piece for someone who gets stranded, whether it's a different planet or if it's a state of mind, but then also that there is somebody who will come after you, help you to stand up and maybe even take you back. But since my guitar player suggested the duet, I checked over the lyrics and I realized that yes, it will work. And at the same time there was coming that Phantom of the Opera thing, first time in 18 years. So I kind of knew immediately that, who to ask for the duet. So in the end we went with the band to play in Switzerland, took a USB stick to Tarja and sang a song with her, and that's how the whole Left on Mars thing came to be. And also, well, you know, of course, that it comes a pretty nice bait for a lot of people, so we had to finish that song and the video first. But the other album, the rest of the songs got recorded at the same time, and I guess that with me and the guys in the band, we've all been there for a while. We all share a good dose of boyhood romance with metal and original hard rock guys and bands like Purple and Zeppelin. And then we've all done really a lot of different things too. So it's a versatile band with a lot of musical vision. And therefore it kind of slips on the side of the progressive hard rock or metal, kind of just naturally. Some of them are personal. I mean, in Patient Zero, for instance, that we published lately, that one is very much about the inner bad spirits and what they make you feel and how they appear to other people. But then there's also totally like fantastical stuff, like the title song Roses from the Deep, for instance. It's obviously a romantic ghost story, even though a little bit of danger because I'm coming to get you. And so there you go on the side of the fantastical. But writing about romance, of course, it's good to experience some if you want to write about romance. Then you got all kinds of fantastical symbols, like Dragon Must Die. But then again, we got ideologies, religions, political directions, and all kinds of opinions that are straight harmful to a lot of people. And the guys who are upholding these beliefs or philosophies are usually only after your money. Solo-wise, it's pretty obvious that the band is more fluid and more punchy than the last time, and we managed to do quite a good load of shows in between and hang together, so it's no wonder that the the whole album sounds more rock. It's and more groovy and all that. That's something that is probably different in quite an essential way to how a lot of bands do stuff these days. We wanted to capture the band live, not to, fix the edits straight to grid and everything timed just right. We like some slower, punchy hits and everything to be incorporated. That's how it differs with a lot of stuff that is done these days. I don't know if I can really compare it to the things before, because you always go with the same goals. Let's write some song stuff that matters, that sounds good and has some substance in the lyrical side also. And then you kind of do your own sign of the times with the album. If we talk about the Pyro, the Black Heart, it was originally meant to be released both the Finnish and the English at the same time. I don't really remember now which way it was. I had 6 songs in one language, 4 in other, and then I started to translate them crisscross in order to get the full album out with both languages. Yeah, a lot of people seem to have the misconception that the Finnish was done first. Yeah, finished in studio, but all that stuff was already existing. But I was still on my precarious slope to darkness, and it was about my enthusiasm for working that made the English one come so late, because I just couldn't get the energy to finish stuff in the studio at the time. So in that way, the new album differs very much. It was way more fluid and easy to do when you have the enthusiasm and things actually interest you again. But the bad thing about depression and anxiety is that they eat away your interest into anything. And at the time, I really had to work and build on it in order to finish that album in 2019 and 2020. Yeah, Roses from the Deep now was very much easier. There are certain mental grounding techniques and breathing exercises that I know how to do and all that. And if things get really tense about something, those I fall back on. But to be honest, I haven't really needed those in a good while. That being misdiagnosed with just depression already back over 20 years ago, it kind of, you get diagnosed with depression and you feel depressed and anxious. So I didn't go more further to look for answers. But then one of the new guys, when I talked to a new psychiatrist, suggested taking the ADHD tests. And that was a very crucial thing, because in the end I got it. And then when I talk to the experts a little bit more and read about the things, I find out that it's very common. That since ADHD is something you get from birth, it's very easy to start feeling alienated and weird around other people, because there's always something you don't quite get from them. They don't quite get you. As an evolution-built social and tribal being within these species, it's obviously something that you kind of find ever since childhood, that you're not good enough to some other people in this social context. And it seems to inevitably lead into depression and anxiety if you don't get the right diagnosis fast enough. And I was with that depression diagnosis for over 20 years. Then when we got the answers, we throw the whole depression medicine cocktail into a trash, because that also happens. You're medicating symptoms. So it works for a while, and then it starts to wear off and you start to go down into the darkness again. And that whole thing changed when we changed the meds. So yeah, I'm having pills every day. I'm a sick bastard. Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of people. Seems to me that there are some places where the following is pretty strong even. Like if we talk about European countries, there's a good load of fans still in Germany who want to hear my music. I've done quite a few interviews also to the UK side, which is very pleasing to me. Usually, UK is a hard market to get for someone out of the native language area. South American people seem to be very into the things. Managed to do already a couple of acoustic tours there, and after getting better, got a really good attendance and good reception. Nothing big. Basically, that if there's success enough and the band gets to move, we can very well convince some people that it's a good time when you come and see and hear that group. That is like my main thingy right now, work-wise. I'll keep the solo group going and see how it goes. Might be some little things coming also on the side, because we did, with Tarot Boys, we did quite a few so-called comeback shows last summer on festivals. You can, of course, do those forever, but it was fun enough for us to agree that next summer we're going to be sitting down in the old studio environment and equipment and see what we got on the hard discs. I suspect there are some really nice riffs, at least, a few vocals and a few text lines. If they're good enough, I think we're going to be sitting down to see if we got anything more to publish with Tarot. But again, no promises. We've been letting things slide for quite a few years already. Those are like the nearest work plans. But of course, there is a little girl at home and a wife and a dog, so some of the future planning deals with just basic things that everybody does. Family shit and all that. You wake up, you go and sit on a porcelain.